briefly, TAG is a 270-degree agency. 270 is we do digital, events management, and creative design. Three services we do in marketing. We have intentionally left PR out because we feel that there are other people who can do it better. So we actually collaborate with them. And before I can even go further, there's a gentleman who looks like me. I'm sure you've seen him somewhere, right? I'd like him to just stand briefly. That is Eric. Eric is my partner, and we've been actually walking this journey for the last 12 years with him. So thank you, Eric, and you'll mingle with the team afterwards. So TAG is actually 12 years old this February, and we actually started off, I actually personally started the company off as a t-shirt selling side hustle when I was in agency, and we have grown to where we are right now. And I think the biggest challenge I had, to be very honest, was the support from my dad. Eric is the firstborn. He's very successful, worked for an international brand. My sister is a lawyer. He wanted a pilot. I decided to go sell t-shirts. He never understood advertising. So the first challenge I had to overcome was my father. And I remember I quit my job at a bank. And he told me, you've quit a bank job, they used to call it bank job, to go sell t-shirts. He never understood that. But my mom told me, you know what? I have seen what you want. I've seen where your heart lies. Do it. I'll support you and everything. Eric came in a few years later. I actually got a job in agency so that I could just do a stepping stone. And then, of course, Eric joined me a bit later, and then the rest is history. So the first challenge was actually family and support. If people don't support you, especially your family, your friends, or whoever is in your circle, that is personally where I sit, that is the biggest challenge, because they can put in self-doubt, and someone once told me doubt kills. Innovation, number one for me, is maintaining that we all move together as a team, and just not me and my team in-house, including my partners and my suppliers. We don't call our suppliers, we call them partners, because whatever they do impacts us in a way, because we're in service delivery. And when it comes to the Kenyan culture, we always try to tell them, guys, let's think globally, although we reside locally. I believe that actually was my last take from our last chat when we had the Effie from EABL. She was talking about think globally, but make sure you operate locally, but think globally. So that's rule number one for us when it comes to innovation and culture. We are trying to match those two. And then when it comes to creativity, we have an in-house team who we let them run wild. We basically tell them, you know what, go to cloud 9 or 12, we'll rope you back in. For us, it's not a no until we are expressly told this can't work. So we'll present all the ideas. You know, the best way to stay true to yourself in terms of the culture, the principles and the core, is basically trying to make the office as conducive as possible. We are the noisiest office in our block. Okay, now we've been surpassed by a church that has moved in. Sorry. We actually encourage people to just take some personal time off. I do know one of my creative goes to the museum. We have a growth strategist also who's in Google DevOps. So we allow them to explore their own personal creative traits, but at the same time we tell them, while you're doing that, think how it contributes to what you're doing right now. And we, come on, you ask me, who do we compete with? We actually compete with ourselves. As long as you give me the best version of you in our office, that's what I just need from you. Yeah. So that's how we just make sure they're connected to what we do, because if you're not the best personally, on a personal level, you won't give me the best when it comes to the business front. The Microsoft Africa Development Center, ADC. Typical of international companies, we are launching an office in Kenya or in Africa. It's for Africans, by Africans, everything, stuff like that. So they did the first launch. If you guys have a look at the new ADC logo, I don't know if you recall it. That was actually done by my team, by a lady called Karen. We worked on that project for about 7 months. So we were told, guys, come up with a logo that represents Kenyans, but don't shout we're Kenyans, because we are proud to have the hub in Kenya. So we went with African patterns, a bit of Gothic calligraphy, which is what we even had Bank Slave come in. We talked with him about fonts, what we aspired, stuff like that. Then again, we did the launch when Huru came. That was executed by Eric's team. Eric actually heads the event management team, and we actually transformed an entire parking lot, like where you've parked your cars on 5th, to decor area that was resonate with African theme. We partnered with Anjiru. I don't know if you know Anjiru, she's on Hurlingham. We also worked with some street artists, Wise 2. I don't know if you know Jehat. That's his artist name, is called Wise 2. So we partnered with him. He did some live paintings during the 3-day launch, because we had 3 days. If I can go back, we have several, including Icon 2018, where we hosted over 50 country delegates, over 3,000 people. We did the whole identity. We worked with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Transport. So there are a couple, but ADC stands out because it's something we've birthed from, from start. There's a term that Eric likes to use in our office, and he says it like every 2 weeks. We run a flat organization. Flat meaning Eric and I have an open door policy. We don't close doors in our office, and we see ourselves as more of a family, to be very honest. TAG is built on principles of we are in it together, we are those guys, and we give our A game. Basically, we literally try to make sure, as I've said, you need to be at your personal best before you come to our office. Because think about it, out of 24 hours, you spend 8 hours with a group of people who you are trying to make money or you're working on something. That environment's to be really cool. Take care of your employees and they'll take care of you. I'm getting to a point where I have seen the potential in some of my team members, and I think it's about time I take step back, have them have the limelight, because at some point also, I don't want TAG to end with me. I would want TAG one day to still be based in Kenya and have international affiliates. That's what, and I'm actually praying that the team that I have right now are going to be with us at that time so that they can take that position. So that's my 10X group.
There are some very good Kenyans out there who don't buy big names, they buy the potential and what you're selling. I think my biggest advice to you is you need to package what you're selling well. What problem are you solving? A lot of us start a lot of businesses, but you don't know what problem you're solving.